Hey everybody, welcome back to yet another video log. I realize it's been a while since I've actually been in front of the camera talking, between maybe commentaries, try doing unboxings, me doing read-throughs of books. I realize it's kind of been a while since I've been face-to-face with you, at least that I can think of off the top of my head. It's been kind of a hectic summer. Today is August 1st. Summer is almost over for my kids. They're going to be heading back to school in a couple weeks. But, the end of the summer's been, the entire summer's actually been pretty busy just in terms of freelance work, doing the show, and also, family stuff. So once they kind of get back to school, then things will probably get more consistent because I have more time during the day to work on stuff. Even as it is now, they've been, as it is now, they're here during the day and they have a babysitter, but it's not super easy to stay focused when that's the case. Anyways, I was kind of thinking about what I could do this week for a video log. My mom is visiting, and I was almost going to forego doing a video log this week, but I was like, you know what? Let me just think of something and I'll just kind of talk about some games, because that's something that I haven't done in a while. So today I'm going to talk about 5 games in my game collection that I am terrified of. You may or may not know that Tri and I met through a site called The Backloggery, which he was co-founder of, or co-creator of, or whatever, and it's a site about tracking your game collection, but also tracking games that you've played through, games you've finished, games you've completed, and games that you've mastered. Over the years, I have a number of games that I have put off for a long time because, I don't know, their difficulty scares me. And maybe this is kind of a way for me to put it out there and say, like, okay, so if people in the comments say, oh, well, you can do this, it's not that bad, then maybe that'll push me to actually do it. So today I'm going to talk about 5 games in my game collection that I am afraid to really put in the effort to try to beat. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the very uniquely named Master System game called The Ninja. My friend Eric had this game growing up, and I swear no matter how many times we tried it, we could never make it past either level 2 or level 3. And I recently got this at the Cincy Classic Expo for $10. And I guess that was kind of me deciding, like, okay, so I'm going to commit to trying to finish this in the future. I'm not sure if it's based on an arcade game. It may be based on an arcade game. I feel like it is. But I cannot tell you if it was off the top of my head. This is kind of like a run and gun. You play as a character that doesn't really look anything like this ninja on the cover, and I'm pretty sure there's no continues in it, and it's pretty intense. But I think I can do it. It's been a long time since I played it, though. I gotta tell you, it's been a very long time, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. In my mind, in my memories, it was very difficult. So yeah, The Ninja. We'll see how that goes. So as you can probably guess, there's definitely going to be some shooters on this list. Shooters are games that I enjoy a lot, and I feel like I've gotten better at them over the years, but there's one series, and I did a whole video about one game in the series about how much it, like, intimidates me, and that is Gradius, or Gradius, or however you want to say it. I always say Gradius. Just because of the way that if you die at a certain point, like, there's no recovery. You cannot beat the game because you can't power up enough to make it through certain levels. I think that when Tri was streaming Gradius 3 one time, someone said, "Oh, if you die in the 3rd level, you should just start over. You can't even It's impossible to beat at that point. So I feel like I could probably beat Gradius 3, but the one game that I'm in the series that I'm very, very scared of, that is Gradius 2 on the Turbo PC Engine CD. You know, go for no Yabo, however you want to say it. This has an awesome soundtrack. It's got pretty incredible graphics for the time, especially. But it is probably the one game in the series that scares me the most. And I don't know if that's just because it kind of has a mysticism to it, you know, not having been released on this platform in the US. But I think the farthest I've ever been able to make it is level 2. And you know, just in general, Gradius games are very, like, they're very scary. But who knows? I mean, has anybody out there beaten this? I mean, can you tell me how, like, should I be nervous about it? I got this when I was in Japan, when we were shooting the M2 documentary. I had wanted to get it for a long time, and then when I saw it there, I said I'm just gonna get it. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely one that I'm afraid of. Now, with those two out of the way, we get into games that I've put a bit of time into, and I had a hard time with them, and I eventually gave up on. And one of them is kind of a notoriously difficult game, and a game that does not have a lot of fans of out there, and that is ActRaiser 2. ActRaiser 2 it's pretty difficult to control, especially in the way that you fly around with your wings and everything. You kind of do these dive bomb things. There is one speedrunner who can like beat this game in like 7 minutes or something like that. But it is a game that, I mean, I love the first ActRaiser. I played through it countless times, even beat professional mode, you know, professional with an exclamation point on it. But this one, from the time that I rented it, it was such a disappointment. And then I decided to give it another chance, I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago, and it is super tough. And if you wanted to complete it, I think you have to beat the entire game. You have to play through it twice. So that's even more intimidating to me. But I do kind of feel like I might be able to do it. I mean, honestly, everything that I'm talking about here, I can probably do. I can probably finish. It's just, I don't know how long it's going to take me. But I kind of like the idea of that. Of it taking a long time, and by the time you do finish it, you are so good at it that you could just blow through it, no problem, and then even take on the harder difficulty levels, and they're not even that hard. That kind of happened with Rocket Knight for me, where it took a long time to beat it, but once I finally did, I restarted it, put it on a higher difficulty level, and I made it to like the last boss on my first try playing it that way. That's the kind of difficulty increase that I like. You feel like you've learned a lot, you've gotten so much better at it that you can take on these higher difficulty levels and use everything you've learned, and it's not that hard. But ActRaiser 2 is definitely a game that is, I feel that it would probably be similar to that. I don't even know if there's a harder difficulty level in this, but it is, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. Like, this is such a controversial game when it came out, and I can really see why, because didn't feel like it worked at all from the, like it was not a good progression from the first game. But I think I might be able to do it. All right. Next up, we have a familiar series, and a game that is not too often talked about. An entry in that series. Aria, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
Can I come?
You can come in and say hi. You don't need to look over there. I'm looking at the camera. How's it going?
Good.
You see yourself there? I'm talking about games that I could never finish.
Oh.
And this is one. I got 2 more left I got to talk about.
Can I help you?
Yeah, you can talk about it for a minute. So this one here is this is Shinobi. Shinobi is the original Shinobi is a game that came out when I was a kid, and I loved playing it. And this was a reboot. A reboot is when they restart the entire story again with new characters, but it has a lot of influences from the original. I know that you don't care that much, but Shinobi is an incredibly difficult game. Especially, I think I made it to the second to last level in it, and I could not make it any further. And I heard a lot of stories about the last boss in the game being so tough that it took people like hours and hours and hours to finish it, and that was very intimidating to me, so I couldn't do it. Are you gonna look over here? Are you looking over here? Are you looking at the camera? Or are you looking at yourself on the TV over here? Hey, can you? Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Suddenly? Okay. So yeah, Shinobi is a game that I have not come back to because those last few levels are so difficult. So yeah, I mean, do you think you could play this one? You think you could be real good at it?
No.
You don't think so? You don't think I could do it? Well, now you're not even in the camera here. If you want to come over here. Okay. So yeah, I think that. You think I should try to see if I can finish it again? You think I can beat the last boss in it? Last. You think I can now? All right. This next one, I don't know if I should say the name of it around you because it's kind of a bad word. This is Heckfire. Heckfire. This is a game that I had when I was maybe about 14 or 15, and it was so difficult to me. I don't think I could make it past the second level, and it took me a long time to make it past the first level. Okay?
At least you got past the first level.
At least I did, yes. And I sold it at a garage sale, and I was convinced at the time, and I was convinced until, I don't know, maybe about 6 months ago, that this is the hardest game that I'd ever played. Which is probably not true, but I'd convinced myself in my mind that it was the hardest game I ever played. So when we did the video on the Mega SG, we had to do a little bit on this game because it has a weird thing where it runs at different speeds depending on what version of the system you're playing it on. And I was able to make it past the first level with no real issue. I didn't even die once. And I kind of made it halfway through the second level And I said, you know what? Maybe this isn't as hard as I remember, or I'm just better at games than I was then. So this game tends to go for a little bit of money for the U.S. version. Goes for about $100 to $150 now. $150.
Aren't you glad you got it back then?
I didn't get it back then. I sold it. So this one was.
Did you spend a lot of money?
I didn't spend a lot of money. No. That's the whole story. Is like I decided to buy it again to say, okay, I'm going to really see if it's just like something I've made up in my mind. So I went on eBay and I decided to buy a Japanese version because the Japanese version tends to go for, I don't know, like $50, and it's a lot more palatable to me. And then I saw this one was up for an auction, so I decided to bid on it, and I ended up winning it for $17. $17, and it's in great condition. You know, this is a Toaplin arcade game. I never played the arcade version, but I'm going to say it right here. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say I'm committing to. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to finish it before the end of the year, so I can put this in the games that I played this year. So, that's it. That's Heckfire. So, that's it. That is it. Thanks for joining me in the last few minutes here. It's been fun. I know that you're just looking at yourself over here. It's okay though. I know all you want to do is play Minecraft. I know that's the only reason you're up here. Anyways, before I start sweating through my shirt, this is kind of a shorter video log. We're gonna get back to it. My mom, her grandma is here, so we're gonna go out to dinner. So see everybody next week. You wanna say bye?
Bye.